So this is a leaf here. Actually has two diseases on here, but the disease that I want to focus on is the tarspot. And so this is tarspot here in this area. And what I want you to notice is that the lesions are circular to very irregular shapes. Those lesions that I'm calling them are actually stromata, which are structures formed by the fungus. And within that structure, the fungus will produce spores, which is how that fungus spreads. The one thing about tarspot is that because the structure is formed within the tissue, you cannot scrape it off. So if you get a fingernail and just scrape, it's very hard to, you can't scrape that lesion or that stromata off. So early on in the growing season, sometimes you might mistake that for insect frass. The best way to distinguish whether it's insect frass or something like that is to lick your finger and just see if it'll wipe off, right? And then please wash your hands afterwards. On this leaf as well, you'll notice that we have a lot of southern rust. Towards the end of the season, you'll remember that southern rust starts to produce those black teliospores instead of the normal orange uridinea spores that it produces. And so sometimes it's very easy to confuse those black teliospores with tarspot. So on this leaf here, we have some southern rust with the black teliospores being produced in the leaf. And what you'll notice with those black teliospores is that they're more circular. And the other thing you'll see is that the epidermis is kind of burst. You can see that those black spots are bursting through the epidermis. If you have your glasses on or a microscope, a hand lens, you'll be able to see that. And then plus you can scrape these and wipe those black spores away with your fingertip. So what I'm showing you on this leaf here are something called fisheye lesions that you may have heard of associated with tarspot. And so I wanted to just draw this to your attention because the tarspot, the black stromata that we see on the leaves are associated with a fungus called Phyllochora matus. And that was not believed to cause a lot of yield or a lot of damage to yield in Central America. What they found in Central America was a lot of times when we started to see these yield losses from tarspot, it was from the tarspot complex, which was basically these Phyllochora matus stromata surrounded by this dead tissue. So they look like fisheye symptoms. And associated with that dead tissue was a fungus called Monographella matus. And so you may have heard talk that tarspot is caused by two fungi. But at the moment, we really don't understand why we're getting these fisheye symptoms. Is it something to do just with the Phyllochora matus? Is it a reaction of the hybrid? Or is there some other fungus that the Phyllochora matus is interacting with? We can still get severe yield loss with just the Phyllochora matus, just those black stroma on the leaf. And one of the things that Marty Chilvers in Michigan noticed, also Damon Smith reported this from Wisconsin, is that where we have the Phyllochora matus, just the black stromata, that tends to shut down the plants early, so we get premature senescence, and those plants can die very, very quickly, and consequently premature senescence equals we don't get to have the whole grain fill period, and therefore we get yield losses from that. I think we can see how it's kind of shutting down these plants a little bit early here. But yeah, that's